Hey everyone, welcome. In this video, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about hindsight 2020, which is basically kind of a little saying that means, whenever you look back on past events, you always have greater vision and greater perspective on what occurred. And the reason we want to talk to you about this is just because of a post that we came across on Instagram of a woman that was complaining about how her and her husband were being attacked for having a baby because her husband had used anabolic steroids years and years ago in an attempt to be a professional bodybuilder. And they said that he made his choice and he doesn't deserve to have kids.
And this was there was quite a few comments on this magazine article that was published attacking him over his past choices.
Yeah. And I guess the background real quick is that when you use anabolic steroids like testosterone for long periods of time, when you take exogenous testosterone, it shuts down your own natural production because your body thinks that you have all the testosterone you need. And so it doesn't, your brain doesn't signal your testicles to produce anymore. And so over time, if this happens for a prolonged period of time, there's enough actual atrophy of your testicles where your ability to produce sperm and testosterone may not actually come back when you stop using exogenous testosterone.
And his didn't.
And his didn't. And so they had to undergo a lot of fertility treatments, that type of thing, to have kids. And
they did it in the public sphere.
And people were just hammering him about,
you didn't deserve
it. You made your choice, and now you need to live with it.
But what I would like to ask anyone is, did y'all make mistakes when you were in your 20s?
Yeah.
And then later on, look back and was like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
I have.
Or not even a mistake. How many of you decided, early on that you wanted to spend all your time focusing on your career? And so you spent, let's say you're a woman, for example, and you spent, all of this time throughout your 20s focusing on your career. And now suddenly you're in your 30s and you're like, okay, my career's set and I want to have children, but your time window's closing. And so you want to do fertility treatments to accelerate the process, right? And not leave really anything up to chance. Do you not deserve to do that simply because you made a choice to focus on your career?
A lot of the, I don't even know what to call them because I hate the labels, but the people that are very religious, they think that. I've been watching it on Twitter all the time too. They think that if women have surpassed that genetic opportunity, that they should just give up and it's their choice that they already made and they shouldn't have a second chance.
That's just such an interesting position to...
Why even live? That's what I would think. Why even fucking try anymore? To live if all your past choices, if you could never do any better going forward.
Yeah.
Why even bother with life?
And that's the thing. Hindsight 2020, you can look back on your past actions and say, oh, if only I did this instead. You're always going to have that viewpoint because you have more perspective when you look back on past events. Why? Because you know how the future played out. But when we're in the present moment and we need to make decisions, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And we're just making choices with the information we have available to us in that moment. So if we bring it back to that article that drew our attention to this topic to begin with, he wanted to be a professional bodybuilder. In order to be a professional bodybuilder, you need to use steroids. That's just where bodybuilding's at currently. And so that's what he did. That's with the information he had. He's like, I want to be able to do that. Family, isn't a concern of mine right now. I'm not even dating anyone. And so he made the choice and moved forward with it. Then he got in a relationship with this woman who knew he was using anabolic steroids, and they built a life together. And then they finally decided, hey, we want to have kids. So what? Neither of them should be allowed that opportunity just because
he made a past mistake.
Not even a mistake, because he made a choice to be an athlete.
Pursue something else.
Look at cycling. Professional cyclists, right?
Same thing, yeah.
The amount of time they spend sitting on a bike actually damages their testicles, or it can, so that they can have fertility problems too. So what, you're going to tell someone who, you know, is a
Really
star
passionate.
cyclist, is really passionate and wants to, you know, build an early career in that they're not allowed to have kids because they made that choice? That's just the most baffling position you could take. Like,
It's
no
zero
logic.
empathy and zero introspection, because I don't know one person that hasn't made a mistake or made a choice, like you're pointing out, that didn't later like want to change that. And so if you're casting judgment on someone that's doing that, that's really, you need to take a look in the mirror and look at yourself, because I guarantee you'll see something that you did in the past that you don't want to deal with the consequences 15 years later.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Awesome. Okay, well, that was our little short rant video. So if you enjoyed it, then awesome. That's what we're trying to do. And if you know someone who you think this information would benefit, then send this video their way. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.